Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Tonight Antoinette, and if you've been watching for a while, hey, how you doing?
But I'll be on it always,
So, as y'all can probably see by the title, it's gonna be a different type of video than like what I'm used to making. But a few people have actually told me that I should make this type of video, and I was just always hesitant because it's like I never want to come off seem like I'm coming at somebody or I'm talking bad about someone else. But like, if you're doing it to yourself, that ain't on me. It ain't on nah, baby. It ain't on nah. But anyways, y'all. So those of you who may or may not know, I'm a college graduate. I finished school early. If I would have stayed on track, I would have literally been graduating this month in 2026. But I finished early in 2024. So this is all from going on probably like 2 years ago. So don't mind me because I'm definitely going to have to use my phone because I don't remember everything by heart. But I took notes and I have screenshots of messages. But anyway, so what this video is me basically telling y'all about one of the roommates I had in college. I had multiple different roommates in college. I didn't stay with like the same group for like the whole time I was there. So I had I think 3 different sets of roommates. Yeah, I had 3 different sets. Your girl was a nomad. She was bouncing around at that point, okay? But this particular roommate was during going into my last semester. So technically, it was my second year of school. So we're gonna say sophomore, even though the credit situation was a little different, we're still gonna say like it's going to my sophomore year. Yeah. And mind y'all, the dynamic with me, I wasn't in a regular dorm. I was in these on-campus apartments, and it was you had the option of having like 4 rooms and 4 bathrooms, which is what I did. So I had 3 other roommates, and now I've definitely learned my lesson on putting all those different personalities together in one room. It just does not. It don't work. Like, someone is going to end up clashing. Yeah, someone's going to end up clashing, and you just have to learn to navigate it and deal with it. I will say that the pro of this whole situation that I'm about to get into is that I feel like I learned how to like stand up for myself a little bit more, because your girl had to be on that. Like, closed mouths don't get you nowhere. Biting your tongue don't get you nowhere. Let's get into the video, because I know y'all ready. So I'm not going to say her name. We're going to call her an alias. Let's call her Susie. Okay, let's call her Susie. She was one of these sisters. And Susie's room was right next to mine. Mind you, and Susie was, I believe, a year younger than me, or maybe like a few months younger than me. So, I mean, since it's not that much, I guess that really doesn't matter. Common sense is supposed to develop over time, I suppose. But Susie was always loud. Anytime Susie was on the phone, baby, she made sure anybody in the apartment could hear her whole conversation. She always had people in and out, baby. I'm talking man from man, bar to bar, whatever. And I don't judge, do you? But keep it down. Keep the noise level down, ma'am. And this was all like in the very beginning. Mind you, all of us were probably living together for like we're probably like a month in, 2 months. When you that early into living with people, you want to be on like your best behavior. You want to, you still getting to know these people, feel people out. So you want to make sure you clean up after yourself. You want to make everything neat. You want to be quiet. You just want to be considerate of other people's feelings, like extra when it's new people you're living with. Baby, not to Susie. Susie didn't care about that. Susie was like, y'all gonna know the real me and y'all gonna know it now. Okay? Susie ain't never got. But I will say that like the loudness is not like the main thing that like ticked me off. I was like, okay, like I'm used to loud people. I grew up in a loud household. I have loud people around me all the time. So I'm like, okay, that's not really the thing. What really got to me, the first thing that got to me for real is like the cleanliness. And then the thing that like took me over the edge is like something she did later in the semester, but we'll get into that. Just watch the full video, because that's when I was like, okay, I had it up to here, and you gonna hear me, and you gonna hear me loud and clear, baby. Loud just how you be every day. One of the things that Susie loved to do, Susie loved to leave her clothes in the washer for 5 days. 5 days, y'all. Mind you, it's 4 of us in this apartment and only 1 washer and dryer in the apartment. And leaving your clothes in the washer for 5 days, like, eventually that's gonna stink. Like, it's just wet clothes. You're not leaving it in the dryer you leaving it in the washer for 5 days. Mind you, by the time you get back to it, you might have to wash them clothes again because they a little stink. That's a little raunchy. And that's just not something you need to be doing, especially with wet clothes. And since we all live with you, baby, don't be starting no mold and mildew around here. Don't nobody want to deal with that. And there was so many text messages constantly saying, oh, whoever closes in the washer, can you move these out? Oh, I need to wash tonight. Someone's clothes have been in there for a few days. Can they be moved out? It's so many instances of that. Not even just from me. It was coming from all the roommates towards her. And she'd either want to be like, okay, just sit them on the couch, put them in a hamper, move them to the dryer, or I'll get them later. It was like she never stopped doing it. It was just consistent with her to the point where everybody knew it was her, and it was like direct message to her like, okay, do something about your clothes. And also, like, a side note, I used to be able to peep her room every now and then because, like, in order for me to, like, even get to the kitchen or leave out of the apartment, I would have to pass her room door since it was right next to mine. And sometimes she would leave her door, like, wide open. And I would look in there, and when I tell you, she brought, like, her whole life into this one room, mind you. And I knew she didn't live too far because her people would always come to visit, and she would go back home to visit, like, every other weekend, kind of, sort of. And the room, it would have tapestry all over the walls. The bed was packed with a whole bunch of pillows, y'all. I'm not even kidding. You couldn't see the floor. I couldn't tell you what color the carpet was in her room. I probably couldn't even tell you the color of the walls.
Just why?
It was just a lot going on. It was just a lot going on, friends. I did not know what was going on with it. And one thing about this situation made me realize genuinely everyone is raised so differently. Because I had to learn, okay, I can't have the same expectations for everybody. Because everybody is raised so differently. And what someone might think is okay, and what someone think is okay, the other person is like, this don't sit right with me. And that's exactly how the situation felt. She thought a lot of stuff was okay, and it was never sitting right with me, baby. I don't know. I wasn't brought up that way. I don't think it's cool to leave your clothes in a washer for 5 days, especially looking with other people. That's basically, baby, that's a 9 to 5. 9 to 5. 5 days straight, Monday through Friday. You don't think I want to wash my clothes? You think I only want to wash clothes on the weekend? Baby, them clothes had a 9 to 5. Anyways, moving along. She used to always have these random parties in the apartment. I would be getting home from school or from work or whatever the case may be. And it's people in there yelling, shot, 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 whatever, shot this, shot that. And as soon as I open the door, mind you, it could be a Tuesday. Baby, why is we drinking shots on a Tuesday? Y'all don't got school tomorrow? Like, what's really tea? And it wouldn't be no celebration. It wouldn't be nobody's birthday. Everybody just want to take shots. And it's like, okay, I get it. We're in college. We're 18, 19, 20, whatever. 21, actually. We're young, turn, lit, whatever you want to call it. Let's drink whenever we feel like it. But it's like, it's a Tuesday. Not a Friday. Not even a Thursday where you may not have school on Friday. But a Tuesday. The second day of the week. And that Monday was that stressful that you wanted to drink on a Tuesday? And don't get me wrong. I can understand a little drinky drink, a little mixed drink. But straight back shots on a Tuesday. No. Absolutely not. Okay. Next. Because I'm going through these notes and I'm having to skip around. And I'm remembering some of this stuff. Okay. She had a birthday that's in September, and this girl, she had a birthday party, and that's fine. Celebrate your birthday, do everything that you like for your birthday, baby. It is your day. Mind you, I said the birthday was in September. When I tell you them decorations were still up October, November, and by the time we left for break on December, they were still up. Baby, I know people to be like, okay, the whole month my birthday, baby, but not the rest of the year. What's wrong with you? Why are you leaving your decorations up for 3+ months? What are we doing? Mind you, you live with other people. We have if I wanted to invite someone over, they like, oh, whose birthday was it? It's, mind you, it's November. Oh, a roommate, she had her birthday in September. They looking at me like, I know. I mean, I can't explain it. The other people, when they had their people over, same thing. And there was this one girl that I also live with. We're gonna name her Jade. She would text me separately and be like, why is Susie doing XYZ during ABC and not considering me? And I would just have to tell her, like, everyone's raised differently, but don't be scared to open her mouth and confess, like, how you feel and how you feel like she's being inconsiderate, because if you don't, she literally just kept doing it. Even though when someone would say something to her, literally the next week the same issue would be done again. So it's kind of like talking to a wall in a sense. But this is when things went completely left for me personally, and I just had to like tell this girl something. Like the first time I told her something for real. Mind you, Susie was in a sorority, and when you join like a sorority or whatever, they come and they decorate your room and they decorate your wall. Not your wall, the door to your bedroom. And so Susie's bedroom door was decorated. You could tell it had her name and everything like that. And then the rest of ours, of course, our rooms weren't decorated because we weren't in no sororities. There was a time where, oh, and also just a keynote, we all had locks on our doors. Like we were able to lock our room door and also you can, of course, lock the apartment door too. And I was never a big one on locking my room door, just because I was like, you know, it's all girls here. I don't really have a reason to. But something this night told me to lock my room door once I got out of the shower and I did everything. And I'm glad that I did, because one random night, it was like 12 a.m. I'm halfway like sleep, I feel like, and I wake up to like this loud bang, like someone slammed the front door, right? Mind you, all my roommates, we're in the bed. We're all asleep in our individual rooms. I knew that for a fact because Susie, she turned off her TV and I never heard her leave out the room. So it was like 12 something in the morning and it's door slam. I heard two male voices. And my first thing was, who left the apartment unlocked? Now, that's one thing I always lock. I'm going to lock the apartment. But it wasn't locked, because how did y'all get in? It couldn't have been locked. And they are knocking on her door. Mind you, her room is right next to mine. They're Susie. And I guess she had another male figure in the room with her. So it was two men that just barged in, and then one man that was in the room with her. And then I start hearing turns on my room door. The doorknob trying to turn. Mind you, you obviously see which room is hers. It's decorated. Why are you trying to open a stranger's room door? And I was just like, in my head, I was like, okay, what would have happened if I left my room door unlocked like I usually do? Like I would have probably had to put some paws on somebody because what's going on. But I'm not even like that. I'm not no violence first. But like that's a whole different level of overstepping boundaries. Like that's insane. Because I don't know these people. I don't know their intentions. And it's like, okay, you know that that's her room door. Why are you trying to open mine? But I guess they came and looking for the guy friend that she had with her in the room. I don't know. I don't really care. I just feel like that was just disrespectful as a whole. Let me find this message of what I sent her. Okay. I said, hey, can we not have people slamming and banging on doors at like 6 in the morning? Oh, it was 6. I'm saying 12. It was 6 in the morning, y'all. At like 6 in the morning. Someone tried to open my room door and thankfully it was locked. But just out of respect for everyone, let's not have that happen again. Also, lock the apartment door at night. Mind you, Susie didn't even respond to this. She didn't respond to it. She just kept it pushing and acted like nothing happened. She wants to be kumbaya as the days continued on, and that like it got under my skin. And so like after that, I just started calling out every little thing she did. I was like, Phil, if it's no paper towels on the roll and you use them last, put the paper towels on the roll. If you left your spoon on the counter and you know it's supposed to go in the drawer, put your spoon in the drawer. I was like, oh, you not finna like at least apologize? You not finna at least address it? Okay. Well, I'm gonna make sure I address everything. I'm gonna do the opposite. Cause that's crazy. Like, I don't know these men. I don't know these boys. And I don't trust no college boys. They all freaked out. They all crazy. Always lock your room doors, guys. Always. If you live with a roommate especially, always lock them room doors because that's insane. That's like crazy. That's like some next level weird. That's like, it don't got nothing to do with how you raise. It's about, like, this comment, like, what? I just don't know. I don't know. And another thing that she did, this was probably, I don't know if this was the next semester. I feel like it was the next semester. So spring semester. Me and one of my other roommates, we were coming back from grocery shopping, I think. And we came back and there was a whole new couch in the apartment. It was like some, I don't remember if it was green or orange. It was just a color that just did not go with the rest of the living room. I wonder if I can find a picture of it in my phone. If I do, I'm gonna upload it. But mind you, in the apartment that we got it where it was already furnished. So we already had couches in there. And we already had like the TV stand, coffee table, all that. So it wasn't much room for nothing else. And I was just like, where did this couch come from? We were both looked at each other like confused. She looked at me. I looked at her. And we already knew who the fool was to do it. And when I tell you this couch stayed till that semester ended, it stayed. Mind you, I don't like stuff like that because it's like, I don't know. You know, bed bugs exist. Stuff like that exists. And you already dirty. Don't be bringing in no couch that we don't know where it's from. No, she gave no notice at all. She never said nothing about the couch. It was never nothing said about the couch. I guess we acted like it just didn't exist. Because it was like, okay, is it really harming us? No. But it's just inconvenient to like the small space that we're already in. And it's already a lot of us in one apartment. So it's like, okay, what's really tea? Oh, and I got in my notes that roaches started. I guess roaches started occurring after that couch. And I don't want to blame it on the couch, but it wasn't no issues with roaches beforehand. Just saying. And so I don't like bugs. I don't like any type of bugs. I even get scared of butterflies. I don't want them on me, near me. I don't want to look at them or anything like that. And when I tell you, Jade started being like, guys, I had to kill a roach and I'm just freaked out. And I said, yeah, I literally saw one in my bathroom the other day and I poured bleach on it. I do bleach on the drains, in the toilet, anything that could possibly be the reason. Because we were on like the 8th floor in an apartment building. Ain't no roach finna just all up the stairs, all up. Ain't no roach finna do that. So it had to come from somewhere else. And it's given it was that couch. And I don't appreciate that. But eventually the bug problem went away. So hopefully she de-bombed that couch after that. Because she still wanted to act like it wasn't there. And also I want to add this little part in. It was like the end of the semester. And I was heading home. My sister was picking me up. And she was having another party thing with like everybody. And it was only me and Jade left, plus Susie. Donna wasn't there anymore, but it was me, Jade, and Susie. And so when I left, it was just Jade and Susie. And Jade texted me separately like, she's sliding, da 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 da. I'll post the receipt. Actually, let me see if I can find them really quick. Okay, Jade says, it's very annoying. She has loud music going and I just want to chill because heard her saying her friends are pre-gaming here. I'm just confused when she's supposed to be out of here because it was already late. I remember leaving at like 11 p.m., 12 or whatever. And the clubs around didn't stay open that late. So yeah, Jade was like, when are y'all leaving? When are y'all gonna actually go to the bars or the club? And I said, girl, I sent her a number. And I say, girl, you can call this number for the RA to knock on the door. It's completely anonymous. I've had this number saved to call on her tail next time she threw a party. They will shut it down for sure. Because Jade was a little bit more, she like, when it was me and Jade would be going off. She'd be like, she's this. But then addressing her like face to face was a little bit more beating around the bush, I guess. So she was a little bit nervous on to call. And I was like, look, this is the number you can call to be anonymous and they'll come knock on the door and they'll shut it down. Because, yeah, like, what, baby, you ain't worried about your liver. I'm telling you, it would be every week. Shot here. I don't know. It was just like too much going on. But yeah, that was a whole other ordeal. Baby, Jade cannot stand Susie. I had my own problems with Susie, but Jade had a different level of problems with Susie. Okay? That's one thing about it for sure. one of the last things Susie did, not even the last thing, it was just like, I guess the next major big thing that made me have to knock on her door and address her front to front, face to face, is I was in my room. I think I was on the phone with Tony. You know, we were a little, you know, we was regular boyfriend, girlfriend back then, long distance. And I was on the phone with him, minding my business. And then Susie comes home and she has one of her friends with her. Cool. They're sitting in the kitchen, cool. And Shorty starts going in. Susie starts going in. About us, the roommates. Everybody was a B. She calling everybody out their name. She's talking about so nitpicky, so this, they're so this. I'm over it. I can't do this anymore. They act like they like hate me. Like they're just so B words. And of course the friend is gonna hype her up. Mind you, the friend don't know the living situation. Because I'm pretty sure if she did, she'd tell her straight up, like, girl, you the problem. And then after I got called a B word, baby, I was so heated. I was the birthday candles. I was like, who's she talking about? I just didn't know. I was like, I've never heard nobody describe me, and that's the word that they say. Unless you a hater, of course, which she was. So I took it upon myself. I was like, okay. I told Tony, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to hang up. And I literally had to woosah. Because I was always like, okay, I'm not gonna add like fuel to the fire. I'm going to approach you with kindness. And that's usually what I do in situations like that. But respect myself at the end of the day. Like, you're not finna just walk all over me. And I had to pray to the Lord. I had to pray to God, like, God, give me the words. Give me the strength, because I hate confrontation. And I know I do, because, baby, I'll start shaking because I don't know what this hand finna do. I don't know what the hand finna do. So I don't know if we finna anoint you or it's finna do something else. And I just remember I'm leaving out. They go into the room. They go into Susie's room. I knock on Susie's door. Hello. She was like, hi. So sweet. Not the same tone she was using in the kitchen. She must not knew I was home. And I said, hey, Susie. Basically, it was, because I don't remember verbatim, but I was like, is there an issue between you and I? Like, aside from the other roommates, do you and I have an issue? Because I feel like it's some tension and I don't want it to be. And I just feel disrespected. And I'd rather not live through a situation like that. And she's, oh, no. It was more towards Jade and Donna, but not you though. We're good. There's no tension. There's no da-da-da-da. I appreciate you asking though. Girl, what type of... So it's just toward Donna and Jade, and little old me is excluded from it. Even though we didn't all had our with you. And it's like, okay. Because I remember there was a situation the day prior to that we had a new roommate come in. Because one of them dipped. Baby, she was sick of it. She dipped and another one came in. And when this one came in, she was like overly, everything has to be... She was like, if you're not going to take out the trash, don't use the trash can.
Oh, who is you?
Oh, I'm going to use the trash can. I take out the trash, just not every time because it's all of us living here. But what you mean don't use the trash can if I'm not going to take the trash out? Where am I supposed to put my trash at? Anyways, so I remember there was a situation like that, like the day before. So that probably like set Susie off. But it's like, Susie, you didn't put no name on it. Everybody was a B. Everybody was this, everybody wasn't that. If you gonna sit here and talk about specific people, I'm gonna need specific names said. Because as soon as you start with, and that goes for everybody, baby, I'm included in everybody. And just looking back on this is so crazy because those who know me know I'm not confrontational like at all. I'm more of a, let's just pray for them. And which you should always be. But I had to learn, like, okay, her doing all this and me not saying nothing, I'm doing a disservice to myself. At this point, I'm adding to the disrespect towards myself. So I had to say something. I had to address it. But just that whole year of living with that girl, oh my gosh, it was so draining. Like, I would randomly come home after school or work or after some event, and it'd be stuff everywhere. I had to look at her birthday decorations for 3 months straight. Glitter everywhere, a random couch, plates and dishes not clean in the sink, trash can always full, paper towel thing was never refilled after the last paper towel was ripped off, always loud music. It was a lot. That was a lot to deal with, but I'm proud of my little bitty self, you know, sticking up for myself and everything. But Susie, she still got another year of school left. I hope she's doing all right. Yeah, there's no ill feelings, hard feelings towards her anymore. I got over that. I learned to just forgive because I did my part at the end of the day, and that's all I can do. I can't make someone have common sense. You know, it's not that common, unfortunately, and I can't make anyone have it. And yeah, I remember like when I was moving out, like at the end of the year, my brother was helping me move out, and he caught a glimpse of her room because her room door is open, and even he said something like, what the hell, the whole half of the country in this mug, literally. So I knew I was the issue. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed my little rant, my little story time of my college roommate. I have actually a lot of crazy stories from college, and I wish I would have started YouTube while I was in college, but that's just a part of my life you guys won't be able to see on camera, but it's okay. I know a lot of missed trips, a lot of everything that I didn't start YouTube. I was just in a crazy place in my college experience majority of the time, but it's okay. We're done. We're out of it, and that's that. Maybe I'll go back for my master's. Look, you get sidetracked. But anyways, y'all, thank y'all for listening to my story time. Let me know if y'all experience anything like this. Let me know down in the comments. And if you're starting school for the first time in August, please do your research on your roommates. Choose your roommates wisely. I pray that y'all don't be put in a random pool, because that's what this situation was, and I just don't want that for y'all. I don't want it for y'all. I want y'all to have a chill, calm, peaceful college experience where your roommates are your friends. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching again. Bye.
High volume. Am I really there?